Hey, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makar, Kodash. We send double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Send much peace, love, and salutations to you. I came out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, and sincerity and truth. This is Brother Ariella. And just a quick lesson, man. I was just looking at different news clips that have been circulating over the course of the weekend concerning Iran, concerning the economy. There's been a lot of speculation that the United States, along with the state of Israel, was going to attack Iran, and it just got me thinking about the scriptures we read about Carmenia and these impending battles that we read about in the scripture. And so I just put into Chat GPT some history on Carmenia. I just wanted to read about it, and we know that the spirit is going to be put on these different nations to stand up to the whore, to stand up against Babylon the Great, America. And even though it can be irritating watching America essentially just go around the world bullying everybody, the spirit is going to be basically roused up in these nations to fight back, man. And then when you study these nations, they wasn't no pushovers, and Iran is not going to be a pushover. Considering everything that's going to happen, when we read here in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, it talks about in the third verse. In the third verse, it says, and say, thus said the Lord, power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. It says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. We just saw in the news, I think Gaddafi's son or grandson just got killed over in Libya. But I just hinged on this Persia being mentioned along with these other nations. They're going to stand up, man, with their armies. Gomer and all his bands in the house of Togomar of the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So they're going to come and they're going to fight, man. And we're seeing this media push and propaganda push to prepare the American people in the West in general for this attack, So we're going to see. Let me play this clip. And then I'll go get the other.
Because in the Persian Gulf yesterday, this comes as U.S. and Iran seized 2 foreign oil tankers in the Persian Gulf yesterday. This comes as U.S. and Iranian officials just begin talks. They began them today in Oman. Jennifer Griffin joining us now. What's at stake if these talks fail?
Well, really everything. There's a large military buildup, and the U.S. is focusing on Iran's nuclear program for now. The talks in Oman between U.S. and Iranian negotiators are over for today. They lasted about 8 hours. It's the first time U.S. and Iranian negotiators have held talks since the U.S. and Israel bombed Iran's nuclear sites last June. Iranian state-run media said both sides agreed to meet again. Present for the talks alongside U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is U.S. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Bradley Cooper, who has been assembling an armada in the Middle East to include a U.S. aircraft carrier strike group. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent revealed Thursday the protests in December may have been the result of U.S. economic pressure, which led to a dollar shortage and one of Iran's largest banks failing.
We have seen the Iranian leadership wiring money out of the country like crazy. So the rats are leaving the ship, and that is a good sign that they know the end may be near.
The U.S. State Department is urging Americans to leave Iran immediately. If they cannot leave, officials advise finding a secure location and stocking food, water, medications, and other essentials. There is a lot at stake if talks fail. In the 48 hours leading up to the talks, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy seized 2 vessels in the Arabian Gulf that were carrying smuggled fuel, and 2 IRGC gunboats harassed a U.S.-flagged tanker, and the U.S. military shot down a Shahid 139 drone that Iran.
So all of these things are happening, and basically provocations that happen. We've been talking about this with the World War III algorithms for years now. You're going to have these micro skirmishes. You're going to have these economic battles. You see how I talked about how some of the things that the United States did cut off dollars from Iran, which caused one of their biggest banks to fail, which then it turned into political turmoil within the country, as far as just protests and everything like that. So all of these things are pieces of the pie, you know. All of these things lead up to these battles. So when we read here in Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, and you go down to the 29th verse, or really 28, it's just this slow grinding buildup, man. You know, brothers stay abreast to this, and every single week you're gonna, see brothers post videos and updates on news and prophecy, and these little small things that go kind of unnoticed lead to world war. You know, Second Ezra 15:28 says, "Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the dragons the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmenians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them." So these nations all around about the Middle East, are getting ready to go get it in, so to speak, man. Everybody's preparing their military. If you read about it in Joel, the 3rd chapter, where it talks about let the weak say I am strong, and how they are all getting drone technology, anti-missile defensive system technology. Okay, they're doing all of these things to prepare themselves for a larger scale war. Now, I just want to read through this, and we'll close out here. I typed in. Salaki, let me do this. Who are the ancient Carmenians? Although they are not a whole country, who I'm supposed to say, how do they relate in their politics and military to modern Iran? It says the ancient Carmenians, were an ancient Iranian-related people who lived in Carmenia, a region in the southeastern part of the ancient Persian world, broadly corresponding to modern the Kerman province in Iran, south of the Persian Gulf. It says, who were they? It says ethnicity and identity. The Carmenians were thought to have been an Iranian tribe or clan within the broader Persian culture sphere. Ancient authors like Herodotus, Strabo, and Nearchus link them closely with Persians. They lived similarly to Persians, shared language and cultural practices, and fought in comparable ways, though they maintained some distinct customs. Their homeland in Carmenia was part of or adjacent to the Achaemenid Persian Empire and functioned as a province, under Persian rule. They appear in classical sources such as Herodotus and later in Greek writings about Alexander the Greek's campaigns, reflecting their recognized presence in the Persian world. Politics and military in relation to ancient Iran. Part of the Persian imperial system, it says, as inhabitants of Carmenia, the Carmenians were integrated into the administrative and political structure of the Achaemenid Empire. Carmenia was governed by a satrap or governor appointed by the Persian king, meaning the region was politically subordinate to the central Persian state. Classical sources attest that Carmenians were similarly equipped for war as Persians and participated in military activities, reflecting a share of martial culture. Nearchus noticed that their similar war gear and fighting style to that of Persians, even of local conditions. Because their land lay along important trade and communication routes within the Persian realm, Carmenians would have been part of Persia's economic, cultural, and military networks, cooperating in campaigns or local defense under the empire's banners. Now, I was reading somewhere, when you watch the show, The 300, you had the kind of like the Imperial Guard to Persia. You had the Immortals, and those were Carmenians. So like top level warriors for and within Persia and Iran. It says cultural heritage. As As an Iranian tribal group integrated into Persian Empire, the Carmanians are part of a longer story of Iran's ethno-linguistic and political development. Their identity was not entirely separate from broader Persian culture, and over time they likely became fully Persianized within later Iranian states. So basically, they're the same people. Let's see. Basically, saying there's no direct political continuity. They kind of had their own thing going. They integrated subjects. Okay, yeah. So then I said, how can modern Iran fit into the scripture of Second Ezra? Right. Let's see what this says. Now, chat is saying that this scripture is just symbolic, right? So you got to chew the meat and spit out the bones. But I still want to read through this. It says key ancient identifiers. Carmanians equal people of Carmania, southeastern Iran. Boom. The Assyrians, often Mesopotamia, imperial powers. By Ezra's time, this usually symbolized Babylonian/Roman imperial continuity. The wild boar is common apocalyptic symbol for ferocity, uncontrollable force, divine judgment. It says Iranian region forces erupting violently into Mesopotamian imperial territory as part of a wider divine judgment against oppressive powers. So we know that Iran is going to be a central point in the coming, Armageddon war. As the United States and the West make this, move to control energy routes, to secure what they believe they're going to secure for this next MOTB push, they're going to have to come head to head with Iran. And Iran is not going to just be some pushover Afghanistan type of move. They're going to have to fight, man. All right? It says apocalyptic literature uses ancient ethnonyms to describe recurring geopolitical roles, mythic imagery to describe cycles of empires, judgment, or collapse, elastic geography. Regions stand for functions, not necessarily, that's how you can say, they'll say Assyria, but what does it mean? It means this powerful nation. Sometimes when you'll read about Assyria, and we understand that it's connected to Esau, Edom. Okay? Same thing when we see that term Babylon. That's why the term Babylon is used in the New Testament, but it's not talking about the actual landmark of Babylon. It's talking about imperial rule that's ruling in wickedness, right? It says the role Carmania plays in Second Ezra in the text is Eastern power, Iranians fear, angered, provoked, militaries forceful, engaged in conflict with Mesopotamian/imperial lands, right? They are not portrayed as evil alone, but as agents in a wider upheaval. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Just like we just read in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, Persia is just going to be a part of several nations coming together to have war for judgment purposes. Okay? It says how modern Iran could be read into this. It says typological interpretation. It says this is the strongest scholarly and theological approach. Ancient Carmanians or Iranian geopolitical sphere, Assyria, imperial Mesopotamia power centers, conflict, recurring east-west imperial friction. This is what we're going to continue to see. Modern Iran is not named in prophecy, which yes it is, but fits the same historical role that Carmania once filled, a powerful Iranian actor repeatedly drawn into a regional conflict centered on Mesopotamia. This includes Iraq, Syria, the Levant, Gulf regions, right? You see? And prophecy does come 2, 3, 4-fold sometimes, man. Until you get the end effect that the Most High wants. Right? It says apocalyptic cycle of reading. Some religious readers see 2 Ezra 15 as a describing of end-of-age convulsions where ancient names reappear as end-time equivalents. And that is true. Regions replay their historic alignments. All right? Under this reading, the Carmanians are Iranian aligned forces, Assyrians, Iraq imperial systems rooted in Mesopotamia. We understand that outside of that, where the United States military bases coming out of? They're coming out of those lands, Iraq, Afghanistan, the surrounding areas. So Esau Edom is going to have to fight out of those regions, wasting a portion of the land, destabilization, not annihilation, right? It says this does not require Iran to be the villain, only a participant in chaos. It's exactly right. It says political military resonance. It says Iran remains a major regional military actor. Its influence is strongest precisely in Iraq, Syria, Mesopotamia, and corridors. So the geopolitical geography still matches Esdras' symbolic map. That's resonance, not fulfillment. And this is a ChatGPT trying to be too damn smart. We're not worried about that part. Yeah. Bottom line, how could modern Iran fit this scripture? It says historically Carmania equals Iranian region, symbolically Eastern Iranian power erupting into Mesopotamian conflict, meaning that the whole battle within the area of ancient Babylon, the Iraq, like I keep naming. You have to understand that Iran is surrounded similarly to Russia by United States military assets. Okay? And then you have these other Arab nations that have allied themselves on either side. So the whole area and region can explode. So when you read that, when we read that in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, it talks about the land of Assyria being wasted. That's because you got United States military bases there, and Iran is going to be attacking those spots. Okay? 100%. And all their proxy armies are going to come out to fight too. We're going to see this. We're going to see this, man. And just as they keep ramping this up, but eventually it's going to pop. We still there's still some more prophecies to hit, but as they keep pushing the propaganda, man, we know that this prophecy is getting ready to jump off the page, man. So, yeah, I was just listening to this and I just was like, you know what? Let me see what ChatGPT is going to say about this, man. Lord willing, that was edifying, brought a little information to you. But with that, man, I want to say, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Wadash. Double honors once again to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, salutations to y'all came out there pushing the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, sincerely and true shalom.